Good day. Welcome to the second part of our lessons on communication. We are still continue lesson in commerce. And so here we are. Let's go. Hope you're ready. Right. So communication part 2. In this lesson or session, we will do the following. After we're done listening or being part of this class, you'll be able to define NITEL and state its functions. I will define satellite and state its functions. Also define courier services and explain its functions. So these are the areas of our concentration for this lesson. Okay. The last lesson we had, we talked about NITEPosts and we were able to define NITEPosts. After we were able to define communication and talk about the Nigerian means of communication and a little of how communication started. And so here we're going to talk about the Nigerian Telecommunications Limited. What is the Nigerian Telecommunications Limited? This is called NITEL in short form. NITEL is a public limited liability company set up to efficiently provide telecommunication services to all parts of Nigeria and overseas, the transmission of message and information from place to place as well. So they are supposed to provide services that have to do with telecommunication to all parts of Nigeria as well as overseas or outside Nigeria, beyond Nigeria. They have to transmit messages and information from one place to another. That is what telecommunication or NITEL was established to do. Here is a trademark, that is the logo of NITEL that we know. Although at the moment we know that NITEL is no longer in existence, they have been privatized and they have been made more competitive by handing it into the hands of private individuals. So NITEL has become what? A privatized business, no longer a national business. It has been privatized. So when they were still in function or Nigeria's business, what do? We call them functions or services that they render. Now, NITEL provides telephone services which are of various types that we're going to see in this slide. So we see these are the functions of NITEL as much as they are. There are many, but we're going to take just few. Now, NITEL provides services as telegram services. Of course, NITEPost started it, but they don't have all the technological wherewithal for the current requirements or demand of the market. So they kind of, allowed NITEL to continue and expand such services. So Telegram, like we know before, are those instant message delivery in offices or homes that are always printed out. Telex is similar to Telegram. They are the same fashion, but one is of a minute size, which is Telex, and Telegram is of a bigger size, which can be used in offices. Fax machine also have the same likeness with this thing. Just like you have WhatsApp, you have SMS messages, you have on your phone, you have Facebook Messenger. This is how they look like for each other. So Telex, fax, and Telegram are similar services rendered to different customers according to their needs. We have global system of mobile telecommunication, that is GSM, the one we call our telephone services of today. The phone you have in your hands, some of which are called Android phones and some other are called iPhones and the rest of them. So they have levels of efficiency and standards being provided in terms of GSM communication or telecommunication. So the services through those phones and those gadgets are what we call the GSM system. That's the global system of mobile telecommunication. Telecommunication that you don't have to keep in one place. You carry it around to wherever you're going to. It could be your laptop, it could be your tablet, and your phones in general. So when you go about, try to reach out to people using those devices, you're actually enjoying what the global system of mobile telecommunication, that is GSM. So transmission of through satellites. Also, NITEL provides satellite services that also help in various areas of need in terms of communication. So telephone services, satellite services are used to provide beam signals for the GSM and other means of communication that is telecommunication based. These are other various forms of communications services that the NITEL provides. They call this the private business exchange. It's a private telephone network that allows users to communicate over local lines, usually a single external phone, which also serves as the company's contact number. That is, those people you see use around, they go walkie-talkie, and then even the police use it, so they talk with one line, but you can all talk to each other at different times and whenever they want. So it's a service provided by NITEL. They have subscriber direct dialing. They call it SSD. So you can actually dial with your own local private number, and you call anybody at any point in time, at anywhere they are. You have subscriber local dialing. This could be within a particular geographical region, right? Where you don't need to, the services cannot exceed that region because of the strength of the network. So you have subscriber trunk dialing. This can go as far as many states in the country, maybe even nationally. Then you have private telephone lines, and that means your GSM line that you use to make calls at any time you want. Then you have telephone directory. These are documents that the NITEL provided, made available to the public. Anytime you want it, you can have any organization you really want to communicate or call. You don't have the knowledge of the number. When you get to NIPOST office, they kind of try to help out by making this available. They have all the telephone lines of all the registered businesses in the country, in any region. So they have that provided. So you can go to NITEL, and get this document, and then find out who you want to communicate to and get their number. So they have what is called telephone directory. You can do that if they have an online base. You can check it and you see it. If not, you can also go to the office of NITEL, and this will be made available to you if after they properly identify yourself and the reason for that. Then you have that book contained, that is the telephone directory, contains every number, even the president's number, every number that have been given out, every line or telephone contact have been given out through NITEL. The owners and their addresses are registered in this book. So it's an easy way to get contacts that you don't know exist or difficult to get. So that's a service that they provide as well to make life easy to communicate properly. So you have international subscriber direct dialing. This also can help you call people within and outside the country. You can call people in UK, USA, Asia, America, and the rest in general. Any part of the world is international. So those kind of services are also provided by NITEL to help you reach loved ones and business clients globally. So this will help also to make you succeed in business when you communicate using NITEL services. Then you have radio phone. Radio phone are also those ones I call a walkie-talkie. That's those gadgets that the policemen use around. The network now is expanded in this form. They can call their head office and every location of checks that they have, duty post, to communicate and know what they do. So that's called radio phone. That black gadget you see that they hold around the hand beside the waist, that's radio phone. You have public phone booths. This has been the one operational before the year 2000, when the government brought in GSM, 2001 GSM into the country, and people started having their private lines. Before 1999, we were using the phone booths, we call it public telephone booths, which is provided by NITEL, and this helps you to call different locations according to wherever they are available to talk to your loved one or do business calls, as the case may be. It's a small structure that has a dialing gadget inside of it. You go there, pay by coins, and you slot in your coins, and it allows you to make a call, and then you call the person you want to call to, and then you communicate. So these are the various services provided by NITEL to help us live a sweeter life and make business more profitable. So you can see NITEL is also very, very necessary for business profits. Then we have the services provided. They also provide, I think I mentioned some of this one before. They offer telephone services, they render telex services, they provide satellite transmission, they render data transmission or data services, fax or internet. Yes, this one is that for you to connect to the internet, some people, which I told you before that NITEL have been privatized, and then because they've been privatized, they're no longer existing as a national organization, but they have given out their rights to private individuals such as MTN, Globacom, EXAMGuide, and the rest of them. These people are the ones who provide these other services right now that we mentioned. They provide data access to the internet. Without the data, you cannot really access the internet. So you buy data or you make calls using their services. So that's what NITEL was doing, provide data, information generally, or access to the internet. So it renders photo telegram services. Of course, the one you have today is called photo telegram services. They also provide such services for users. Okay, I just mentioned satellite in our last slide, and satellite has to do with what? The channel through which signals are beamed across the world to allow access to various websites internationally or internet in general. So what is a satellite? A satellite is a communication equipment which is mounted in the space to send signals to different countries of the world. They are systems of global transmission of signals from one place to another. Live telecasts of events in a country can be watched in other countries with the help of a satellite or satellites. So that's what we're saying. They help to beam signals, all right, across the world. They release internet signals to various parts of the world where you can have access and do what? And be connected to what is happening in other places of the world whereby you are where you are, not exactly in the same place with them. That's what satellite does. So we know what satellite is right now. So this is a picture of, or an image of satellite that we know. This is one of Nigeria's satellites that have been launched before now. So you have an image of a satellite. You can see that. You see the bulb behind the satellite is supposed to be the Earth that we know. Then the one you can see is a space, the orbit. So this satellite is pointing down to the Earth, releasing signals specifically to Nigeria or Africa or West African region. It is programmed that way, so it will see signals that will come because NITEL is providing it. You have access, you subscribe, you get access to information that are provided by this satellite. So this is another satellite image. You see here is even farther away from the Earth. You can see the image of the Earth very clear. Okay, so now we talk about Nigerian satellites in details, some details. All right, the Nigerian satellite, or we call it Nigeria Sat-1, was the first Nigerian satellite and built by the United Kingdom-based satellite technology company. It's called the Surrey Space Technology Limited, under the Nigerian government sponsorship for $30 million. Wow, that's huge money. But of course, we need to have it because it helps us in various ways. The rewards are more than $30 million. So that's why we went for it. The satellite was launched on 27th September 2003. You know now that Nigeria has a satellite on air or in the space. If you don't know before, please know that we have our own satellite. The second one is the Nigeria Sat-2 with 300 kg mass and was built to replace the Nigeria Sat-1 and was launched on August 17, 2011. The first one was launched, what year? The first one was launched, the first one was launched 2003, the second one was launched 2011. Well, let's see what happened. We'll get to see. So this is the second satellite of Nigeria where we were able to replace the old one. You know what happened to the old one as we move forward. Now, okay. Actually, Nigeria Sat 2 was replaced by NITEL Sat, which was the Nigeria Sat 1 actually stopped working. It's just turned off due to faults and whatever. I think the battery or whatever supplies the energy went dead and could not be fixed, and nobody could locate it in the space. So they had to build Nigeria Sat 2 to replace that. And this is it. So also afterwards, NITEL Sat 1 or NITEL Sat was built to be able to beam signals that helps to the country to be able to use to be able to forecast weather conditions, how we are supposed to expect that. Now they will tell you that this coming rainy season, there's going to be flooding, there's going to be too much water due to massive rainfall. It is because the satellites have been able to detect the weather changes and forecast what will become of the weather in time to come. That is what the Nigerian NITEL Sat was built to do, and also to help to arrange demographic of the country, that is, help to demarcate the land boundary-wise, or even design the nation how it will look beautiful. That is, the architects will need it to be what? To be able to build a city. So those are from above, you can be able to design a city and see how beautiful it will be. So that's what it is. So NITEL Sat 1 was built, and there you have also NITEL Sat X or Nigeria Sat X. Those ones are higher levels of signal. Those ones provide internet services as well as do the same with NITEL Sat. So these are our satellites that we have come so far. The years you can check it later, but because we have no time now, just take sure that we have Nigeria Sat 1, Nigeria Sat 2, we have NITEL Sat, and we have Nigeria Sat X. These are the satellites that we have for Nigeria. So we have built different satellites and launched into the air, into the space, to help the country have information and grow in these areas. First of all, it was for boundary demarcation as well as weather forecast, and then we'll have another one that gives internet signals, all right, for the use of business and other individuals in our various homes. Thank you. So now we have courier services. What is a courier service, or what are courier services? Courier services refers to the services rendered by private postal organizations. Private postal organizations. The courier companies are licensed bodies which specialize in the collection and distribution of letters and parcels both within and outside the country. So that's what they do. They actually are extending and expanding NIPOST services. Where NIPOST have been found wanting, then courier services or courier services come into play to bridge the gap and fill the space. So they are private licensed bodies or companies that control or do exactly and extend what NIPOST have been doing. They collect and distribute letters and parcels both within and outside the countries. You have some of them, you know, these are various logos of courier services or companies that we have. Some of them are common to you, some of them you don't know them. I know you know about TNT, you know about UPS, you know about DHL, you know about FedEx, Red Star Express, and so much. Those other ones are not really known to you, but you can actually know them because they are actual practicing, all of them are doing courier service business. They do what NIPOST do, but in a more advanced way and more friendly. This is an example or images of FedEx courier services. They have advanced so much that they have buses, they have dispatch riders, they have train services, they have air services, that is aeroplane, long heavy duty trucks just to dispatch messages and parcels. So this is how far they can go, and people are really enjoying the services. I know you know of FedEx, and this is DHL. They even go with helicopter just to deliver some messages. All right, they have buses, airplane, trucks, train, and so on. So yes, you can see that courier services are very, very important in our lives. Without them, life will be a bit more difficult. So these are all part of what? Communication. The transfer of information from one place to another is called what? Communication. So these, what they send across is mostly what? Communication related items. So what do the courier companies do? What do they do? These are their functions. All right. One, in no particular order, one is provision of efficient means of mail delivery. Remember the word efficient means of what? Mail delivery. So they deliver mails from the sender to the receiver efficiently. All right. They safe delivery of documents. They ensure, because it's private, you can't toy with anybody's document and they let you go free. So you have to be business-like in doing so. So they have what we call safe delivery of documents. Of course, before you receive any documents, you need to be sure that the person who receives it is documented or is the owner of the document you're sending. So when they come to you, they give you information and they give you papers or documents that are going to attest and put in writing that you are the one who received it, time and date and your contact. So that's why it is called safe delivery. So they ensure cordial relationship with their clients. Doing so will help them expand in services and in patronage. Because if they come to you and they talk to you anyhow, I think you would rather look for another courier company that can do what you expect to do. So because of that, they are very, very cordial and friendly in service delivery. So they try to appeal to you, your conscience, and your patronage. So they become very cordial in how they relate to you. They have transportation of loads. They also transport beyond document and letters. They transport parcels and big heavy duty loads from one point to another. Remember I showed you just now that DHL has train, they have airplane, they have long heavy duty trucks, they have buses. These are not used to carry papers or documents, they are used to carry heavy duty loads. All right, so that means they also carry what? They carry loads, they transport loads from one location to the other. They even have ships. All right, they also ship goods from one country to other. They run on ship, on water, on land, on air. They have this, so that's what they do. They also render services in all locations. Anywhere that human beings stay, bicycle can get there, humans can get there, they can deliver to you. Once they can locate your address, you get rendered services in those places. So they do what they do on long hour services. In some places we call metropolis, that you don't know the difference between day and night, except that the weather is dark. People are always outside doing one business or the other. Such places, they render 24-hour services. They don't close. They can come to your house at 2 a.m. Once there are people moving around and you can still be awake, they deliver your parcel to you. Some places they don't work that, but they are actually eligible to render 24-hour services for you. So this is what they do. They render door-to-door services as well as a function, because NITEL don't really have that much grace there, because there's no much check and balance in their services, so they can decide not to deliver a particular document or letter and it will remain there. But for courier services, they go from door to deliver these services. They come to your door and knock at your door, you answer them, they relate to you, and they give you whatever it is that belongs to you that they brought to you. So that's what they do. So they render door-to-door services. Just in a little bit more detail, these are some of the functions I mentioned earlier. They provide efficient means of mail delivery because they are more careful, more detailed in handling mails. So they bring to your door your mails and you sign and collect. They deliver documents safely. That is, important documents are delivered safely without getting lost in transit. So because they take note of who takes charge of the delivery at any point in time, it changes hands. That makes it safer for delivery. So ensuring cordial relationship is what they do as well. The cordial relationship is between them because their customers enjoy what they do. They ensure that the customers are happier before they leave at the end of every service. Now, we continue. They also render service in all locations, like I mentioned earlier on. Whether you are in Amazon forest and you have an address and letter is to come to you there, and they have received the service and want to render, they will bring it there, because all locations does not have an exception. So wherever you are, be sure that you can get courier services there, and immediately your address is traceable. You get your parcel delivered or your letter delivered to you. Yes, that's what they do. In summary, we have been able to see that communication goes far beyond talking. Up to courier services and NITEL, we still talk about what? Communication. Communication does not stop by just sending letters and reading them. When you move items that are informative from one place to another, you're actually talking about communication. So in this case, we have been able to define NITEL and explain their functions. Also, we're able to define satellites and the various satellites that we have, talk about courier companies and what they do. Okay, to continue this class, at least round up, we're going to look at some questions that covers the areas of communication we just discussed in this lesson. So let's see what and what we'll get from here in terms of the questions. We're very specific with what we've just done in terms of questions. So this is not part of it. Okay. The machine used for sending telex messages is known as, is it fax machine, dictaphone, teleprinter, or reader? We'll call it what? We'll call it a fax machine. The next question here, the transmission of telephone services from one country to another is facilitated by what? By, is it interconnectivity? Is it internet services? Is it international facility? Is it communication satellite? The transmission of telephone services from one country to another is facilitated by what? We call it what? Communication satellite. Okay. The next question, the two main forms of communications are, let's just take this, of course, part of communication. We have what? Oral and written communication. Okay, that's the two main forms, oral and written communication.